Prince Harry's war with the media.
Hello and welcome to the Mark and Pete Show. Well, the Duke of Sussex has begun legal action against the owners of The Sun, the defunct News of the World and the Daily Mirror. And this is all in relation to alleged phone hacking. Documents have been filed on behalf of Prince Harry over the alleged illegal interception of voicemail messages. And that has come from Buckingham Palace, which has been something that has riled Prince Harry and his wife. But his wife, Meghan, has also begun legal action against the Mail on Sunday. And this is in relation to unlawful publishing of a private letter to her father. Oh dear, it's getting tense. Well, many people believe that actually what Prince Harry has done by coming out and being vocal towards the media has become too contentious. Yes, the royal toil and Prince Harry stubble. He and Meghan in a media bubble, loyal recoil, privacy problems double, now reputations remain in rubble. Oh, clergyman Pete, has it all gone wrong for Prince Harry and Meghan, or is he right to actually be more vocal and take the media to court?
Just a point of clarification, Prince Harry is the Duke of Sussex, one and the same, and his wife is, of course, the Duchess of Sussex, and those are just titles given to them. Now, what has been going on here? Why are they behaving in such a litigious fashion? It seems to me that what's happened is they've got upset, they've got angry, and they've forgotten that old maxim: don't get angry, get even. I think they're making a mistake here.
So it's a tactic that perhaps he's taking the wrong tactic here.
I think the tactic is wrong. Now, what I would say is that he is in the right. I think if we have someone phone hacking, getting on what are your private messages and calls, that is. Is it illegal? Well, I think that it should be. But I know that's a contested case. But I do think that it's immoral. And publishing a private letter has happened to the Duchess. She's right to be outraged. It shouldn't be allowed. She writes a letter that's not intended to be published. Someone happens to get hold of it. Doesn't matter how they got hold of it. It doesn't matter that it was through a relative. She didn't give permission. She didn't want it to be published. Therefore, it shouldn't be. So they are in the right. But yes, tactically, they're not going about this the same. There's a far better way to go about it. But this way that I would suggest that requires more subtlety, and you don't get to get them. You know, I was a teacher years ago, as you know. And when I was a teacher, one of the things that they were doing teacher training, a concept I was trying to get across is, as a teacher, you have to remember what your aim is. Your aim is to control the class so you can educate the kids. You mustn't be trying to get them, you know. So a kid is obnoxious and messing things up. The human reaction is, I'm going to get him and get him punished. No, what you want is his behaviour controlled so that the class can continue. And what Harry should be thinking is, what I want is for the media to be controlled so they don't completely trash my reputation. That's what he should be thinking, because they have so much power. Be careful. That's what I say. Be careful using lawsuits.
I'm going to say, from a business perspective, let's take a look at this, because you're right. What Prince Harry should be doing is, as you quite rightly say, perhaps from a moral standpoint of view, he is in the right. However, poking the bear being in this particular case the media, is probably not the best thing. The media are out for a story, and that's essentially what they're looking for. Now, referring to his late mother, that's Diana, Prince of Wales, the Prince himself, Harry, was concerned, and I can see the point here that he is saying that his deepest fear is history repeating itself. He made the comment went as follows. I've seen what happens when someone I love is commoditized to the point when they are no longer treated or seen as a real person. Now, we all know from history what happened there. He certainly has a point, but I do agree with you that by coming out and being so confrontational, and that would necessarily be more around being vocal in the media, and actually sort of contesting some of their approaches is only going to exacerbate the situation. To your point, what he needs is a proxy. He needs somebody to act on his behalf to front this and basically champion the cause for privacy. Nobody, and I'm pretty certain that Meghan and Harry will not have an issue with the fact that they are a representative of the royal family, and particularly when, as we've seen on some of their royal tours recently, they've been a good ambassador for the country. And therefore, they're going to be in the media spotlight. When issues actually occur, such as unofficial publishing of letters, that clearly is something that shouldn't happen. But to then make it a media spat with the media is not a good thing. So I think you're right that perhaps there are other ways of tackling the issue. My worry, and this is where I come on to the next step, which is I think now he's laid down the gauntlet, because I believe that once you start to attack the media in such an overt way, he's opening himself as well as his wife. And we've seen that there have been issues with Meghan and, of course, some alleged issues with her father. Her father, of course, couldn't actually attend the wedding, but subsequently the media have been all over this particular point, and it still keeps coming back like a sore wound that just won't heal. So from your point of view then, Clergyman Pete, do you think that maybe that it's wrong for the media to keep constantly digging into these sore points? Or do you think that, as some people say, they're fair game because they're being paid for by the British public to represent us, and so therefore they have every right to be talked about in the media?
No, I think that's nonsense. The point that the second point, I think is nonsense. I don't think you have any more rights over the private life of someone who's employed to be in a public role than otherwise, because they have a public side to their life and their private life is separate to that. I don't see any moral right for you to get involved in their private life, apart from where it affects their public duties that we're paying for. But their actual private life, unless there's a reason to investigate it, because, as I say, maybe if it was suspected, let me give an example, if it was suspected that Harry was having an affair with a Russian agent or something, that's a possibility. But apart from extreme cases like that, no, I don't think people have any more right to invade their privacy than otherwise. I know it's often assumed, if you put yourself in the spotlight, then you're fair game. Well, that's how you're seen, but it doesn't make it any more moral to take someone's private information, put it out in the public. I just don't buy it.
No. Well, here's the thing, because there's a specialist, and he often is called out on these issues, a chap who is a media lawyer, Mark Stevens. And he said royals rarely, in inverted commas, take legal action because it can be a high-risk strategy. He told the media themselves, ironically, that the process of legal disclosure of information between lawyers and then royals being cross-examined could take them to places that they don't really want to go. And that's absolutely true. I think this point about taking legal action is a very, very dangerous point. I know that one of the things that many people have thought about is that maybe Harry should obviously air his concerns about intrusion, but actually just simply waive this issue. Because at the end of the day, the media are looking for a story, and the media will realize that the story will only go so far What I think has happened here is, sadly, it's given it more legs.
Yes,
and what I would have advised Prince Harry is saying, if I'd have been his advisor, yes, it's an issue. You are in the right, and you should not have had any of these issues, whether it be about yourself on the phone hacking. Clearly, he wasn't the only one, incidentally. Kate, that is, in William's wife, also was a victim of phone hacking. We've also, ironically, deep in the past, for those whose memories are longer, we had the issue with Prince Charles, of course, with Camilla. This is obviously before he eventually married her. So there is a track record here. But the point being is learn your lesson. If you go out and start taking action against the media in any way, where, as you say, there is no threat to national security or anything like that, then there are other ways of tackling it. Kill the story, make it a non-story.
Yeah, make it
and
non-story.
That's the approach.
But I think if they engage someone who's an expert on social media use, I think they can fight back.
Yes.
They can see doubts in any story that's put out. They can actually make subtle attacks, as in not coming from themselves, coming from people who support them on social media. A Twitter storm of angry royalists might put paid to a lot of this stuff. I mean, it needs to be handled carefully, but there are experts who can handle that sort of thing. None so expert, of course, as the great Donald Trump, who seems to be able to turn every story to be about him in the entire world by using Twitter.
Good or bad.
Good or bad, yeah, but he loves it all. But I mean, using the sort of techniques that Donald Trump uses indiscriminately, but using them judiciously, I think you'd have a better chance of squashing a story or turning attention away from a story, and of course also turning people against any media who are against you. The royals, you see, are popular. I was going to say held in high regard. That's not quite right. They're popular for the large percentage of the British population.
Well, absolutely, but not just in Britain. I would say throughout the world. I think what we've seen, and this is just my personal opinion here, folks, but I think that with the fact that bridging the waters, as we say, between America and Britain has been good, with Meghan now being part of the royal family, it has given the next generation, shall we say, a much more scope to talk about subjects that we perhaps wouldn't normally have talked about. We know that Prince William recently, for example, came out and talked about mental health and the important things. Can you imagine digging deep in the past, some of our eminent royals ever even daring to talk about that openly in public? But what they are is they're bringing something fresh. So I think that actually, whether it be Meghan, whether it be Harry, or any other members of the royal family today who will be the generation that will take over, they've got other worthy causes. I think that this form of legal action probably was a little bit unnecessary, and maybe now is the time to focus on things that actually would add a bit more value. And what's your thoughts there?
Well, yes, I think that this was ill-conceived. The lawsuits were ill-conceived. I think that turning to having the media report on better stories is great, but all in all, what we have is the media that we want. I mean, if we didn't want to eat up these stories, if we didn't pay to buy newspapers or click on links to read about these sort of stories involving private information being given out, then it wouldn't be out. So I would say it's our fault.
Yes. Well, we love it.
Sorry, Harry.
No, it's your fault. Well, we love a good story. And listeners, what do you think? I mean, I know that many people are concerned about the effects that this would have, not just on the royal family, but on Meghan and Harry by simply taking this route. Well, do you feel that actually this was the right action? Why not log on to Mark and Pete and let us know your thoughts? Well, we'll see what happens with the legal case and how far it goes. But one thing is for certain, the media will be all over it. Yeah. So join us again next time for more colourful conversations with Clergyman Pete and Businessman Mark.